What's up, y'all? It's Coach Justin. We are here again at These Talks R Taboo. It's been a while since we shot because of Lisa. So what you been up to, Lisa? Tell the people what you been up to besides getting on my nerves.
Well, hey, I'm Lisa, and if y'all know me, y'all know that it's not because of me, it's because of Justin. I haven't been doing anything but trying to film and getting rescheduled, but okay. Back at work, back in the classroom, so don't get me fired.
How was that? Being back at school.
Mm, One thing I noticed is the kids are actually really concerned about COVID. They don't feel like they should be back at school, and I don't
Oh
feel like they
wow.
should be either. Like we give them mask breaks, and they don't even take their masks off.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But a lot of them probably live with like elderly family members or whatever. They don't want to put their family at risk. Like we don't either.
All right.
So yeah, it's all just about money to be honest. Is why kids are back in school. That's my
Yeah,
thoughts.
that makes sense.
Yeah. What you been up to?
Chilling, man. Working, trying to put everything together.
Love the new
Figured.
place.
Thank you, thank you. I hope why didn't you bring the fucking flowers or whatever? What were you supposed to get?
I was I was coming from work, but yes, I will bring plants
Because if I go get them, you gonna talk shit.
because you're gonna get fake plants. Justin was trying to get fake plants.
Because who's
Yeah.
gonna water them?
You can.
Get like a snake plant.
That's what I'm saying.
You don't
Like
gotta
you
do
can, I
I
nothing.
don't know about
told him
that.
like you can get plants that you don't really have to do much
Yeah.
with.
Just
Okay,
leave
well,
it.
you go get them, and how about that?
Got it. Okay.
So do you want to introduce our lovely guest?
Yeah. All right. So I'm so excited for our first episode back. We have my good friend here. Y'all may know her as Retrograde Mommy on Instagram and Twitter,
Mhm.
right? The real hood healer.
You hella funny.
So let's start this debate. Lisa, when's your birthday? You don't have to say the year. I know women don't like telling people how old they are.
May 5th.
May 5th. Okay, so what does May 5th mean for Lisa's?
So Lisa is a Taurus,
Right.
and she's born on the fifth day. So she's ruled by the planet of Mercury. So she's a Taurus from Venus. But the day that she was born, she has Mercury traits. So like Gemini, Virgo traits. Those traits make her like super talkative, a teacher. So yeah, so she'll have a special relationship with Virgos and Geminis.
Oh, Lord.
Mm-hmm.
Virgos.
Virgo, earth sign like you too. And Lisa's an earth sign. So there's four elements: earth sign, um, and water signs, fire signs, and air signs. And you can be mixed up of all of those different signs.
What do my Venus mean? Because it's in Gemini. What that mean?
So that's an air Venus. So Venus is the
That's a
planet.
what?
It's air. So it's an air
Like
element.
air.
hmm
Okay.
So like air signs are here. They're mental signs. And
Like
like
they got mental problems. Is that what you mean?
everybody got mental
'Cause
problems.
that fits her. If that's what you saying, that fits her.
Eric got mental problems. My Venus in Gemini, so hold
my
on.
bad, my bad.
Hold on.
I can't insult you yet because you just started coming around.
Okay, so yeah, so that's an air sign. So Venus is like for a woman is how you love. So when we think of Venus in the air sign, that means you're not I want to say you're not necessarily a clingy lover, but you're a lover who needs to be like stimulated. You get bored fast. You may be like a serial dater, so you may date a lot of people. With it being in Gemini, um, Gemini is a sign of the twins. So a lot of people who have Venus in Gemini, I don't know if this applies to you, but like they like both sides of the pool. So
What you mean? Like,
Justin, close
they
your
need
ears.
to be they Geminis are need to be mentally stimulated. They represent the twins. Like Geminis, they say like twins are they're like bipolar, but it really represents masculine, feminine energy and feminine energy, and they exude both of those. So they like both of them sometimes.
like bisexual?
Yes,
Really?
yes,
Hold on.
yes. That's what I'm saying. It get deep. You feel me?
So, wait. Explain that one more time because I got lost.
Okay, so Lisa's placement is Venus in Gemini. Venus is the planet of love, like platonic love, romantic love, love of material things. She is a Taurus, so that's her home planet. She's a lover, right? But it's in an air sign. Gemini is an air sign, along with Libra and Aquarius. Air signs are signs that are mental, like you say, mentally challenged, right? They're mentally stimulated, so they run from not emotions, mental. Their emotions are mental first. So when the way that Lisa gets attracted to people, somebody that can talk to her. So if she's talking to someone, she's probably getting stimulated. Like, ooh, he talking that English. I like that. Like shit like that. Because I'm like that too. So if I have good, like if we're conversing very well, then I'm like, ooh, shit, I like you. So Lisa may not necessarily go off of looks first. She'll go off of how you're interacting and talking to her. And then also because it's her Venus, how she loves is in Gemini. Geminis represent the twin. So they represent masculine energy, feminine energy, right? So Lisa may like masculine and feminine energy, however that exudes in people. So she may like women or she may like men, as she may like both. She may be, mentally attracted to both those energies. So it's a possibility that she could.
But this, when you say like, this could be platonic, you said?
Yeah, because Venus doesn't rule just romantic love. So she can she may have relationships with men easier than other women that don't have that Gemini placement. So it's like that. But also, she could be doing freaky stuff too on the other side too. So,
So is that why I'm attracted to drug dealers? Because they talk.
Wait, what? Okay, so honestly, yeah, so Gemini, so look, my Venus is in Gemini.
We're not just going to speed past that. What does that have to do with drug dealers?
It's exciting. It's exciting how they talk and shit like that. So you're easily stimulated. You're excited because I like people I shouldn't like all the time.
So you like drug dealers too? You can say it. It's okay.
I don't like drug dealers, but I like people. Like Lisa probably shouldn't be talking to a drug dealer. I may like talk to people, not necessarily a drug dealer, but somebody like a player or somebody like that. Because then it's like the Gemini Venus is like, I don't want to get too attached to you anyway. So be a drug dealer, go do what the fuck you need to do. You're not gonna bother me like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be too attached. Gemini Venus is a very like friendly lover. They don't want too deep. They don't want it too deep. It get too deep and it's like how you just saying like I don't have all these feelings. They come out over time.
So basically, it's pointless for y'all to date because y'all don't get attached to people.
No, we need to date people who can mentally stimulate us.
So, but do you get bored with people fast?
Yeah.
Wait, when's your birthday?
My birthday is May 14th. So my birthday, I'm a Taurus, like Lisa. And Lisa's birthday is May 5th. I'm a 14. That's 1 and 4. That's 5. So just like, listen. I know again.
What?
So astrology. So look.
Wait. No. What are you talking about?
So look, astrology, tarot, all that shit is all intertwined together. Okay. It all spills over to each other. So when we talk about astrology, it's a lot of numbers, a lot of math in astrology, a lot of graphs and shit like that, right? So 5, I was born on a 5 day because I was born on the 14th. So 5 represents Mercury. So how I'm sitting here talking to you and communicating with you guys and how Lisa goes to work and does that, so that's what we have in common. So the day that Lisa and I were born, we're naturally attracted to Gemini and Virgo energy. And they're from Mercury. So we're naturally attracted to Mercury beings. Those are people who like to talk and communicate and mentally stimulate us and drug dealers and shit like that.
So what's different from your chart and hers?
So, like, let's say, for instance, my chart. So Lisa was born probably like 2 years after me.
Okay.
So that's different, right? So it's 2 years after me. So our sun signs are the same because we're both Tauruses.
So, okay, sun sign is just
your birthday.
The basic.
Yeah. So, like, when you read your horoscope, you read about your sun sign.
Okay.
Pretty much. So then, but Lisa, maybe the day that she was born, like, Lisa's moon sign is in Capricorn. So the day that she was born, the moon was in Capricorn.
How many of these zodiac signs are we made up of?
So it depends on how the sky is moving. But there's 12 zodiac signs. There's 12 of them. So it's pretty much. But it depends on how the sky is moving. So it depends on where the moon is, all of that.
And how do you keep up with this?
So, like, I have software. I write this down every day. Like, so let's say, for instance, like, my calendar. I write it for the month ahead. So I'll know, like, okay, the moon's going to be transitioning to this. Like, we just had a full moon.
The other day, huh?
Yes. So the moon is in Pisces. The moon's probably in early degrees of Aries right now. So that means, like, when the moon is in Aries, you're more like, Aries are the first sign. So they're a fire sign. So you're more like, you want to get up and do shit. So in astrology, it starts from March. So it doesn't start from January. The astrological calendar starts in March.
Really?
So Aries, the end of March is Aries.
Right.
So Aries is the first sign. You are the last sign.
Ain't that a bitch?
But the last sign, so like I always tell people, like Aries is like the baby that's first born. Pisces is our angel, the grandfather who has, or
Also,
the
I'm an
grandparent.
angel.
Yeah. See? So now you like, yeah.
So Lisa, that means you should treat me better. I'm like your angel. She
Angel
said it,
from-
not me.
Straight from the pits of hell.
So yeah, so Pisces are like earth angels. So that's why, like, you know, like
Why
your
do
son.
people hate Pisces so much?
People don't hate Pisces. I don't know. People hate Pisces. That's crazy.
I
They
hear-
say we're hella emotional.
I mostly hear Virgo slander, Cancer slander, Sag.
I hear Sagittarius slander.
When is that? When is
Sagittarius is
November, December?
late. Yeah, so late
My
November,
daughters-
December.
My mom and my daughter and my little sister.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because of Sag for sure.
Yeah, but Sag are cool though. But I think it just depends on the
My
person.
daughter's feisty.
Yeah, they're hella feisty. But
I need to put her in anger management already.
Just let her
That has something to do with you, though.
let her be herself.
I do.
Sag got to be themselves. That's why people don't like them, because people don't like people to be themselves.
Right.
And she's gonna be talking blunt. She's gonna speak what's on her mind. And the thing with Sag is they pretend to be somebody else to fit in, or like especially when they date. They
Really?
date people, and these people don't know about them, and then like they be like, damn, he fucked up, or he this and he that, and it's really just like the Sag just wants to be like 100% like
Accepted.
loved, yeah, pretty much. So, but they're wild, they're different. Every sign is different. Like they're fire signs, so they like to, you feel me, do their own thing. They're hella independent. They don't want to be tied down. Their opposite sign is Gemini. So like you probably like can date a Venus in Sag or Mars in Sag, like because they understand that like, okay, I need to be free, so
How did you get into this?
so pretty much like my mom has always been into it. My mom, my family, or whatever. Like as a kid, they were like, "Oh, you're such a bull," and I'm like, "What the fuck is that?" Like I was like, "You like what the fuck is that?" Like why I keep, I'm me. And then as I got older, like I kind of went through like this little, I guess you could say like a depression or whatever, right? And it was like around the time when all like the police brutality first started happening, probably like 2000 when it started happening on social
On the radio,
media.
yeah.
Yeah, so we've seen it all the time. And I'm just like, oh my God, this world is crazy. Oh my God. And I was just like working for corporate America. I'm like, this is too much. Like I want to know about myself. I'm trying to go back to my roots. I watched Hidden Colors, right? So I'm like, damn, I can't go back to Africa. Like I can't do all that. And I have my mom who is like, she really thinks outside the box. And she was like, I know you want to go back to Africa. You want to do all this and find your roots, but think outside of this shit. Think bigger. And then I was like, planet, solar system. I always was into science and solar system. I'm like, oh shit, let me look. And then I started looking, and I looked at my mom and my dad shit first, and I was like, oh, okay, that's how I knew that this is kind of real. Cause I started looking at them. I didn't look at myself first. I looked outside, and I was like, okay, so now I'm about to start looking at this. So then that's how I started getting into it. And I was like, damn, if people knew how to use this as a tool and not just like use it as just like, oh my God, people are like this, but use it how to navigate, like you'll be hella smooth. I feel like it's really a tool to just, and seeing yourself from a different lens, like peeping shit. Like with astrology, I see shit that I didn't like about myself. Like I got commitment issues. I'm hella fickle, like shit like that. So I'm like, this is something that I need to work on, and then astrology helped me see that.
So when you're dating somebody, how much does this play a part in like?
So like let's say for instance, like I like Sagittariuses, right? And Geminis. I'm not supposed to like those because technically I'm not compatible with them. But I don't let that play. I'll look in their birth chart and see like, okay, what you have or whatever. But I don't let that play too much because sometimes, that's why I say astrology just a little bit. Because if you're supposed to be with somebody, you're going to be with them. That's why I say people, date your sign. Date whoever the fuck you want to date. But if you learn their chart, you may understand like, okay, you like this, you like that. Like I was dating like a Capricorn for a long time, and they're hella like, straightforward, get the job done, but then they had hella water in their chart. So I'm like, this motherfucker is hella emotional when we get home. Like when we close the door, they cry, they do all this, So I started to figure out like, okay, certain placements, I knew that their relationship with their mother was hella important, so I couldn't really feel a way about that, because it's like when you know, your certain placements, you love your mom. You and your mom are like this, so I have to respect that. You get what I'm saying? By knowing that, I gained a better relationship with my mom.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like I don't let that shit. Sometimes I should because it's like you don't need to be dating them, but I'll still do it anyway, just because I'm curious to see how their energy and mine is gonna mesh. So I don't really be. But
You got
some.
any questions?
I think that's. I was just gonna say. I think that's the biggest part about like. I guess the difference in how you use it as a tool, like you said,
Yeah.
like it's like to navigate people, similar to like I guess like majoring in psychology or something like
Yeah,
that. Like,
it
you know,
is.
emotional intelligence, but it's just like it's another way to learn it. Like because I know this about you, I can handle you this way, or I can treat you this and this way, and I, you know, I know how I
It's
want
almost
to
like you
be
stay
treated.
in control like that.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
like in a controlling way. I mean,
But that's true.
You learn to expect certain shit at certain times and all of that. You know.
Yeah,
What I
or
mean? And then it kind of puts logic behind people's actions. I guess.
yeah, because then it's like if I know like let's say for instance, if I know I'm dating a Pisces, right? I've never dated a Pisces, but like I have Pisces
You
friends.
should try it.
I've never dated a Pisces. I've never dated a Virgo ever.
Is
so
this like intentional?
no, it's on.
It just didn't happen.
No, it never. Because I'm normally like, unless that Pisces has like fire energy, I normally like, because I'm so fickle, I need somebody that's like super dominant, and I don't necessarily come across Pisces who are like that. You know, even though there's Pisces that are A type, like not hella emotional, like we got to get shit done. You know, like low key got anxiety issues, but yeah, like I don't know. I would be like, okay, well I'm dating this Pisces. I know that they gonna like music, so let me make sure just off the basics, like let me take them to a concert, you know, or I know they'll
You
probably.
kind of got like a cheat code.
Yeah, that's what I be calling it. That's what I be calling it. It's the cheat code. That's why I be like. That's why I love dating, because people are like, "What? Dating is so like hell no. It's hella fun. It's just hella games. Like
That's interesting though.
yeah, it's really a good ass tool to use just to learn about yourself. It's really a cool ass tool for real.
Let me get a cheat code. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know enough.
No, you're the problem.
No, I'm. You're the problem. Okay.
I've been hearing lately that sources are the problem, and I'm just like, I don't believe it either. But you know, to each his own. People can believe whatever they want to believe.
But I did just get told that, which I never saw an issue with this. Like,
what?
I don't see it as ghosting.
Oh,
but it's like,
girl.
But it's like, I'm just not going to hit you.
Oh, God. Let me tell you, I was dating somebody and they fucking cheated on me because I like space. But I've been told you that. Like, I'm not one of those girls like, oh, if you don't text me back. Like, I was just talking to one of my friends. Well, like, she like a family member, but she was talking. She's like dating somebody, right? They go on vacation. She like, they ain't hit me back. They ain't. I'm like, damn, fucking vacation.
Right.
From you. Vacation from everybody, including you. You ain't on the vacation, you know? And people be like, damn, like, you don't like me because you don't hit my phone like that. And it's like, actually, I do like you. Maybe if you liked yourself more and had things to do, you wouldn't be so worried about what the fuck I got going on.
I can't let you get that off. Because, and this is why I combat the zodiac sign stuff. I feel like I told you before we turned the cameras on, I feel like it's all life experiences, right? So let's say my last person I was dating, they wanted me to be texting them all the time. Because I went through that, right? When I first got single, it's like, I don't really know how to date. I was in a relationship for so long with like a friend. Like we started off as friends. You know what I mean? But I always had to, oh, I'm on my way to my partner's house. I'm about to stop at the store. Like it was just, that's a habit for me. But then I had one girl tell me like, you don't have to update me on, but it's like that was my norm for so long. That, and not saying I had to do that.
No,
but
I get
just
that.
how our relationship was. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm dating somebody new, how do I? You see what I'm saying? Like I don't get. We're all learning each other from the beginning. So it's like I don't know if you want me texting you all the time. So then some niggas might do it, but then like you say, it could be a turnoff.
Or you can ask. That's one thing that like.
But I feel like us as people, I don't mean to cut you off. We don't really know all the time what we want. You see what I'm saying? Like you said, you tell somebody from the rip, okay, I need space. But you're like, ever since I went to therapy and stuff, I kind of look. Let me ask you this: do you feel like the world is kind of like slowed down for you when it comes to like reading people and shit like that? Because you know so much about the zodiac sign stuff.
What do you mean slow down?
Like, I feel like since I went to therapy, this is like everything just makes so much more sense.
You're processing it, yeah.
Everything. Like
yeah.
I can pull. I don't really take shit personal no more. You know what I mean? Like I can pull so much. I can pull logic from any situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you feel like that's the same for you?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay, so can you let's do my chart. My birthday is March 10th, 91. So.
Okay. So
I think I was born around 4:30
p.m. Right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so you have all the elements in your chart. So you're a pretty balanced person for the most part. Mm-hmm. Not like everybody else. Because a lot of people, like for me, I don't have any fire in my chart. So I like fire energy, right?
Okay.
So your sun sign is Pisces. So the day you were born, the sun was in Pisces. The moon is in Capricorn. So the day you were born, the moon was in Capricorn. So the moon travels in every sign from about like 2 to 3 days. It'll travel.
And so, then
So like, let's say for instance, when you were born, the moon was in Capricorn. And then let's say 2 days later, it'll be in Aquarius.
So I was going to ask you that. So it goes in order.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It goes in order. So there's planets that retrograde, but the sun and the moon are luminaries. They do not move backwards at all. So the sun and the moon are always moving forward. But the rest of the planets, they go back sometimes. That's why like you hear like Mercury retrograde and stuff like that.
Was he born during that?
Let's see. No.
I know he got some retrograde in there.
You were born during Jupiter retrograde.
So explain the whole retrograde thing, please.
Okay, so retrograde is my favorite, honestly and truly.
Well, it is your social media handle.
Retrograde mommy. It's my favorite. So when I looked at my chart, I was like, I seen these little R's. So there's like graphs and stuff, right? And there's like symbols and all of that. It's like damn near like hieroglyphics and shit. It's fucking crazy. So anyway, so I seen I was born during hella retrogrades, 5 of them. So I'm like, what the fuck? So
you all fucked up.
Pretty much, right? So I'm like, damn, okay. So now I'm like, okay, everything making sense. Why shit is harder for me to get out. Why I feel this way, but the world don't see it, you know? So I'm like, okay, so retrograde is pretty much, let's say Mercury. Mercury is, think about our solar system, right? Mm-hmm. So it's like the sun. Mercury is one of the planets that's close to the sun versus like Pluto or whatever is further out. So it moves faster around the sun, right? So that's why every year it goes in Mercury. Remember this. Mercury goes in retrograde 3 times a year.
Okay.
And it goes in each element sign. So this year, Mercury is retrograde in all the air signs. It already went in Aquarius. It already went in Gemini. Now we're finna go in Mercury retrograde in Libra. Finna come up actually on I think the 25th or the 26th. That is coming up. So what happens is the planet Mercury is orbiting at a different speed in the sky that it looks like it's going backwards, right? So in astronomy, it looks like it's going backwards. So, but in the study of astrology, that energy is making you retrograde. So like go back, because retro means to go back. So it's like now you're going back and you're reassessing shit. You're going back, you have to redo things. So that's why it's not a time for you to go. That's why they say don't do anything new. Because when you do it new, when Mercury is out of retrograde, you're going to have to go back and redo it. Because that's a time to plan. That's why, I think on Twitter, I was talking to you and I was like, Mercury, retrograde is like a time where you're watching you're watching plays. So let's say we're talking about sports.
Like you're viewing.
You're watching
film.
Like film.
Film, yeah, right. Okay. So you're watching okay, so we're taking notes. This is what we need to be doing, right? So then you have 3 phases of retrograde. So it's pregame, right? So you're out here okay, we already watched all that, right? So
I do remember you saying this.
Yeah, so it's pregame is okay, we shooting around, we getting ready for it. Mm-hmm. All right, we trying to figure out shit is starting to shift. We trying to figure out what we should and should not do and all of that. Then during the retrograde is the actual game, right? So now the shit's on, and then after the retrograde is over, it's the post game. Mm. So now you're reevaluating what just fucking happened, so that you won't do that shit again. So that's why I say retrograde is hella important in a game of life, because it's like a time where you need to rethink what's going on. You need to be in a huddle with yourself. Okay, this person moving like this or this situation moving like this. How can I move for my next play? Mm-hmm. That's how I look at it.
So why does all the toxic shit happen during Mercury's
retrograde? So Mercury, so we humans, we communicate, right?
We're humans first.
Right. We're humans first. Right. We're humans first. Humans communicate. Literally, that's what we do. Our body communicates with itself, whatever. Mercury is the planet of communication. It's the planet of short travel. So it really rules a lot of shit that we do every day. Like me driving over here, that's ruled by Mercury, short travel. Right? So that's why stuff happens. That's why Mercury retrograde happens. You need to go get your car checked. You need to go get your tires and shit rotated.
Before or during?
Before. Because if you're going to do it, then don't go to a new mechanic. Go to somebody that you went to in the past, like a retro mechanic. You know, somebody in the past. Because then, if you go to a new mechanic during retrograde, your shit going to be fucked up. You're going to have to go back to your old mechanic anyway, after. You get what I'm saying? So, during that time, Mercury retrograde is like that is because we're always communicating. And people are just, especially now, people want to move. And then we have our phones. And that's the source of communication. So even during Mercury retrograde, you'll notice like your phones will be buzzing and your phone be tripping, your computer be tripping, all of that type of shit. Like even for you do all this before retrograde starts. You need to make sure you got your software, all that stuff like up to date because it will fuck up. It will do that. That's because it rules communication and it's trying to get people to slow down. Like let's say for instance, if we're Mercury retrograde and your computer fucks up, it's probably because the system was telling you should have been updated it and you didn't. So now Mercury retrograde is here like, hey, you need to go re-download this new system because you weren't doing it now. So we're going to stop you and make you do it. You know? So that's why it's like that. And like as far as communication, it's like people just want to like move. And it's supposed to slow you down and make you stop and just like reassess things before you move forward. That's why it's like that. People just want to keep going. So then when you move upstream, it's like that.
So how long does this retrograde and stuff last?
So like it's three stations, right? Or 3 phases
per year, right?
So, yeah, so it's three yeah, so it's 3 times a year. But there's the pre-game, the game, the post-game. So it's 3 stages. So let's say for instance, retrograde is like 2 weeks. Real retrograde. So the pre-game is 2 weeks. So it's really like 6 weeks. You really go through the whole thing. So the pre-game is 2 weeks. The actual retrograde is about 2 weeks, and then the post game is 2 weeks. Now this is for Mercury because Mercury's faster. If we go like Uranus, like we're in Uranus retrograde right now. We're in 3 retrogrades of the planets that are further out. They last longer. Like we're in Uranus retrograde until January.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a further out planet.
But this one doesn't affect us like the Mercury.
So it does, but it affects the generation. I call those like generational planets. So like you'll see a lot of social stuff happening during that time that things are happening. So like right now, Uranus is in retrograde and all of a sudden we got to do these vaccines, right? So this has been happening. This has been brewing, right? So now you're going to notice that people are going to start rebelling against it. Where Uranus is the planet of rebellion. It rules over Aquarius. Aquarius is the rebel of... Aquarius is like the Rick James of astrology, right? So that energy is like, I'm going to do my own thing. No. So you're going to see socially, because it's a social planet, everybody is going to start rebelling towards it. And rebelling like against it. So that's what's like. That's what's happening right now. So we're gonna start seeing that. So by the time January hits, when Uranus goes direct, we'll have new effects on like the COVID, like the vaccines and all that type of stuff. Like so, it really, when you follow astrology, you'll start to see like, oh damn, it really does like align with social shit that's happening too. Like all the time. So let's say for instance, like with the whole Trump shit, right? So with a long time ago, a planet called Pluto, which Pluto rules over like transformation, right? It was in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn rules the structure of things. So like that's when like the Constitution was first developed, when Pluto was in Capricorn. Pluto is now in Capricorn, and the Constitution is like, our world is about to be different. Like our president system, how like Trump, that wouldn't normally happen. You get what I'm saying? So, but that has happened because now our system is about to be broken down and be rebuilt again. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, so it's like it can get deep. Yeah, it really get deep. Like it really does.
I never knew it got that serious.
Yeah, I think when people, because my thing is anything that'll make you not I don't want to call people sheeples, but anything that'll make you think outside the box, they'll try to make it taboo. So then you don't want to learn about it. So you be like, oh, no, that shit ain't nothing. You don't want to get deep in it because when you get deep in it, then you start having your own thoughts about shit.
Right.
You feel me? And people don't. Most people don't want to have their own thoughts about it. If you really think about it, people don't critically think on an everyday basis. But the astrology makes you do that. Other shit makes you do that. So they'll try to make shit taboo so that you don't want to go do it on your own. You don't want to have a mind of your own, if that makes sense.
But how does that benefit they?
Because then if you're doing it, so let's say, for instance, if everybody thinks like, oh, astrology is bullshit, like how you're like, I just read the shit and it's like whatever, then you're not taking a step further to kind of learn about yourself even more. And not just with astrology, with anything. You get what I'm saying? Like anything that they make taboo is what you should probably go and pay attention to. You know, because or figure out for yourself. It's the same thing, like, not to bring in race, but you know how, like, it's like stereotype. Like, people, you know, assume that black people are a certain way, but then when you get to know us, we're not like that. It's the same thing.